Another problem that often occurs in young hitters is what we call the hip slide. And oftentimes what will happen is, and I'll try to demonstrate it so that you can see at a better angle, is if you focus in on this back part of my hip, as that hitter tries to come through, their first thing that they do is they throw their hip towards the baseball or towards the pitcher. Well, we call that the hip slide. Well, what that will do is this. It will take and lock up a hitter's natural motion around his or her core. Now, you'll often see hitters that want to be so aggressive take that hip and throw it at the pitcher, and there'll be a lot of what we call punch and Judy hitters, because they'll be so far out front, they'll never ever catch the ball deep, and they'll just be a contact hitter, spraying the ball up the middle, and oftentimes rolling over it to the corner infielders and getting themselves out more often than not than what the pitcher gets them out. So how do you stop the hip slide? One thing that we like to work on at Knox College is putting ourselves in a good strong base, which we have talked about many times before, and then allowing ourselves to catch the ball with our back hip. We never, ever, ever want to isolate our front hip when it comes to hitting the baseball. Naturally, through repetition, through athletic movement, through athletic ability, you're going to find that all young hitters, mature hitters, are going to clear that front side. So, how do you isolate that back hip? The one thing that we'll do is we'll grab some Nerf balls, some softballs, some tennis balls, and what we'll do is we'll put them in our stance, we'll put the bat down, we'll put them in their stance, and we'll throw a baseball at their back hip. And the one thing that we want to do is, if they're sliding, they'll notice that what we're trying to do with that ball, is catch the ball out in front of our hip. Down and catch the ball out in front of our hip, so our hands and our hips work together. We'll try to catch it out front. If they're hip sliding, they'll catch the ball behind them, trying to get positive or negative reinforcement from the very first drill that we do. So as I'm sitting at that angle down the first base line to a right-hand hitter, and I throw the ball right at that back hip, if that first movement is forward and we slide those hips, they're going to catch that ball behind them, and hopefully, as repetition will dictate, that they start realizing, okay, I got to stay back catch, I got to stay back catch, I got to stay back catch. Another drill that we'll do